I come to you at this time to let you know that once again we're in a season of deceits and scams and frauds. We just came back from a 2-month outing in Washington and elsewhere in the U.S. where we're discussing the affairs of Nigeria, especially the killings across the land, where they could be coming from, where they're headed to. You also recall that in December of 2018, we had talked about the need for the elections that were planned for 2019 to be deferred so that we could go rework the foundations that had gone bad. The Federation of Nigeria has collapsed. We still have the country. But we have a federation that has been hijacked by the federal government, and which has in turn been hijacked by the Fulani, who had come from all over the West African sub-region, now trying to make Nigeria their home place. And we realize that elections will not solve the problem that confronts Nigeria at this time. And in the Freedom Park Proclamation of December 11, 2018, the self-determination initiatives of the Greater Eastern Nigeria, that's the Lower Niger, the Yoruba, and the Middle Belt, together, address the global audience as to the need to immediately halt the journey to 2019 elections, especially the presidential election, in which we will be renewing the life of the Constitution that was imposed, the fraudulent Constitution of Nigeria that has been the source of the misery of both the people and the country itself. In fact, that has consumed the Union of Nigeria. But more than all of that, we also pointed out in that Freedom Park Proclamation that Nigeria has arrived at that bus stop where South Africa reached in 1990, at which point it had to work out a mechanism to ease out the apartheid constitution. Now we've gone to the election. All of the things the Freedom Park Proclamation anticipated could go wrong have gone wrong now. We have an inconclusive election. We have the prospects of that constitution remaining the basis of the union, and we have seen the killings that were already there before being escalated because a strange force has seized the union. So part of what we want to tell them, what we want to share with them in the U.S. From January of 2019 was that the ISIS that they were thinking had been dislodged in the Middle East had since relocated to the West African sub-region and has made Nigeria its hub. And that if nothing happens to stop them, they're going to overrun the whole of Nigeria and take down along with them the whole of West African sub-region. Now, we've come to where more people are aware of that situation, and things are heading to where those who are trapped in this union of attrition, union of death, union of backwardness, are advancing their self-determination steps that are going towards referendums already. And we have this this group of people again who were used to sustain the journey to the 2019 election. The Showore group and those who are doing Not Too Young to Run, sustaining the scam that was the 2019 election. They are out again to say they want to do a revolution on the 5th of August. Let it be known to all of us that there is no revolution intended. What they want to do is to distort and derail the self-determination initiatives that have come to where people who are fed up with Nigeria are taking decisive steps to wind up the union that has been imposed on them by people who are not willing to listen to anything, people who are out to kill them. In an ethnic cleansing, I'm sure many of us saw on the national TV from the US where Frank Gaffney was talking about Fulani ethnic cleansing directed at the indigenous populations in Nigeria for the purpose of taking over their assets. We had Gerard Danjuma talk about it before, and we had Obasanjo talking about the motive. So we're saying that This revolution, this so-called August 5th revolution, is an attempt to derail the, and depart from the issues, to just take people away from the issues on the table, because those who are talking about that revolution are only talking about governance and the elections that will happen in 2023. Who were the ones who brought about this calamity we have in government house in Nigeria now? Go and check those who promoted the candidacy of the president, and find out whether it is the part they were at the time the rest of us were talking about elections that will not solve these problems. And now they've been procured again by those who want to retain the union of death, but the one Nigeria that is not serving any purpose, the federation that has collapsed a long time ago, but which has been hijacked by a caliphate that now wants to wipe out the owners of the land to take over the entire place. We're saying that let nobody pay any attention to them. What they are pursuing is to create a commotion that will more or less overshadow all of what should be done at this time. Let our focus be on taking down the constitution that ensures that that killings are are being carried out by those who are taking the lands of other people. Let's target that constitution and take it down so that we can rework the basis of this union. What we need to do at this time more than anything else is to get to a transition, the type that South Africa did in 1990. If we do not want to do it in a consensual manner, in a peaceful manner, it will execute itself, because nobody is going to fold his arms when he's being killed by people who owe it a duty of faith to kill the others, who they call infidels. Nobody's going to be in a union of master and servant in which one side insists that all men are not born equal and therefore they are born to rule the rest. Between the two, we have a clash of civilizations that cannot be, that cannot cohabit in one, political union. The Federation of Nigeria died in 1966. Those who have kept it by force all this while have now come to where they want to eliminate the owners of the land that the British locked in together to call Nigeria all the while. The Nigeria we have in place now was not the Nigeria negotiated in 1959 at Lancaster House. And there's a majority, those who hold life sacrosanct and who believe that all men are born equal throughout southern Nigeria, throughout the Middle Belt, are holding hands today to say that we must now accept that our federation had collapsed. We must now accept that we must go to a transitioning to rework the basis of our union. And if we're not doing it together, we can be sure that unilateral actions may overtake everybody. That's why we want to drop the anchor for now. Thank you very much.